So if you haven't had enough of Brian, and I certainly have not, then, then, and if you have, please don't tell us in the comments below, because I want to have him back. This is really good content, and you guys like usually watch it. So I want to have him back and back and back. Brian, great to have you on.
A pleasure as sometimes. Thank you, Randy.
Yes, and real quick note: if you were on watching the show yesterday, you know that Brian is begging. He doesn't usually go all the way to begging, but he's going to be in Austin, and he's got his ticket for the airplane. He's got his ticket for the rental car. He's got his ticket for the hotel. The only thing he doesn't have a ticket for is to get into the event.
Yeah.
So if by any chance you end up with a spare ticket to the event, he would love it if you would, look him up, check him out.
I would be honored to be your +1 and provide hours of live commentary of whichever variety you want. It's configurable. It's a one audience member live stream just for you.
A personal guided tour.
Yeah. And you can ask me all kinds of crazy questions. When I did get into the shareholder meeting, the gentleman who brought me, Patrick, wonderful fellow, kept asking me, who's that? Who's that? What's that? And I'm like, hey, man, you got the right tour guide.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely true. All right, Brian. So we are going to have it out today. This is going to be the final. This is, put your arm up. Let's get him. Is this
I'm ready.
You like wrist, or do you like it hand to hand? What kind of combat do you like? Anyway, so we're gonna work on this today, and this is all about where is Gen 3 going to be built and when is it going to be built? And Ron Behrens, who probably knows more about it than you do, he says 12 to 18 months. What say you?
Yes. Well, 12 months. I'm going to say right now that's just not going to happen, because even if they decided to build it, let's entertain the notion that the extension to the building in Texas is for that car. It will not be built, installed, configured, and ready for deliveries 12 months from now. It will not happen. So 12 months, I think we can just scratch off regardless of where they build it.
Okay.
But 18 months, let's talk about that. Tom Jew said, when Mexico breaks ground, I want them to build it faster than Shanghai.
Right.
Now, Shanghai phase 1 was a different kind of factory. It was small. It was almost entirely on one floor. All of the production area was one floor. And when they began building, they were actually building kind of semi-knocked down cars. A lot of the components, like 80-90% of the components, were coming from Fremont and elsewhere to just assemble and kick them out the door. Now, They very quickly localized. Within a year, it was more like 80-90% local parts. Now it's at 95% local parts. The FSD chip comes from, Samsung. I found out, by the way, Samsung has a fab in Texas that is or will soon be building the FSD chips there. So there are, so could they have production in 12 to 18 months? I don't think so. And further on the Texas point, they've got, if you look at the square footage of the expansion, it's only going to be about 1 million square feet. Sounds like a lot, but it's also of an irregular shape. It's kind of horseshoe shaped because it wraps around the existing building. If that happens to be the correct shape, we could see them start to build in Texas in a year and a half, maybe. But I still don't see the business case for it. If they could just build little limited edition cars everywhere all over the world, they would already be doing that, like all the other manufacturers do. Ford makes 6 million cars. They have 100 assembly plants around the world to do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty inefficient in terms of capital deployment, as we have seen, and it makes it very difficult for them. So can they build it in 12 to 18 months? I don't see 12, and 18 seems to be a stretch. If they broke ground somewhere tomorrow, Berlin, Mexico, maybe. But I don't see them building anything that's only 1 million square feet, because they need the scale in order to hit the price points.
Well,
And I don't see
how many square feet would you say is necessary for a full on, for 500,000 units or something?
Well, I don't think they're targeting 500,000
No,
units.
no. I know that. I'm talking about if they were to do a line or
Sure.
enough to make it worthwhile, which has got to be
Sure.
250, 500,000, right?
So Shanghai is 9 million square feet if you include all the buildings,
Okay.
and they produce about 1 million cars.
Okay.
So that means 1 million square feet, if you're just dividing, would get you 100,000 cars. I don't see the cost efficiencies showing up in the compact at 100,000 units. I think for this the economy of scale to kick in, it needs to be well north of 100,000. Realistically, 500,000 million.
And isn't there a smaller footprint for the factory in terms of the output? Don't we get a higher number of units per square foot?
It is possible, but what we get is a quicker line, because they're able to do sub-assemblies over here, but they still have to build the sub-assemblies.
Yeah.
And then they just chuck them into the car. So what that allows them to do is minimize bottlenecks. When everything is dependent on just the line, you get bottlenecks. Any bottleneck can stop the line.
Right.
Tesla uses a system that other manufacturers also use, where individual cars can be pulled out so the line can keep moving. They've got them on, basically modular, self-propelled skateboards, so to speak, for a lot of the line. But you still have to build those assemblies somewhere, presumably in the same building. You could build them in other buildings, but then you've lost your efficiencies again.
Yeah.
So
have we heard anything from Joe Tagmeyer in terms of the Model 3? I'm sorry, not the Gen
compact?
3, the Gen 3 vehicle in Texas. Has he made any comment? I don't watch all of his stuff, but I know you are very tight with that stuff. So
I am. I have heard, not from Joe, but apparently Joe has said that he has talked to people who believe that Gen 3 will happen at Texas.
Okay.
I haven't heard that firsthand from him,
okay.
But even if I had, that's still third, fourth hand. But I've heard it in response to videos that I've made where they say, no, Joe talks to people on the ground. I also talk to people on the ground. I have not heard whispers, but that doesn't mean that his are not correct, or for that matter, that his are correct. Because again, these are still rumors. And a lot of times things that are planned don't happen. We've seen in Texas across the highway, they were planning to build a building. They had started getting permits. They'd already graded and laid out the entire emerald pattern for imminent construction, and then never built. And now it's a parking lot. We know that the extension to the south end of the building was permitted a year before it happened, year plus. I had at one point started tracking it because we believed it was imminent, and then it just didn't happen until now. So plans can change, and do, all the time. The idea that Tesla is slowing down on their plans, I think, is over-interpreting what Elon said on the earnings call. I think he's just loading the springs so that they'll be ready when the rates correct a bit, come down a bit, and it will allow Tesla to dominate once again while everyone else is playing catch up.
All right, let's turn our attention to Juniper.
Yes, sir.
Do we hear anything? I know, as far as I'm concerned, I have not seen a single camouflaged Model Y that would indicate that that we're close to Juniper. Have you seen any camouflage? Do you have anything that would help us interpret when Juniper might be happening?
I have not. Demand for Model Y remains strong. It is still the best-selling car in the world. It is not yet stale enough for this to be urgent. The people that I would normally talk to, I have talked to and said, what have you seen? What's happening? And the word I got back is, the parts are so much in common with the Model 3 that I won't see them.
Yeah, I see.
Because one example was the Prindle display at the top of the screen, where it tells you what gear you're in. That would just be shared with the Model 3. So I wouldn't be able to see that coming. I would have to figure out which parts are going to be new, find out who makes them and see if I know anybody who works there. And it's when it's all the parts, because so many of the pieces of the Model 3 were new. There were people saying, I won't count this as a refresh unless it has 50 new parts.
Right.
And it's okay, how about 50%?
Yeah.
So okay, well, maybe. Okay, yeah, it's new. But with the 3 versus the Juniper, it's not going to be 50% of new parts. A lot of them are going to be in common.
Yes.
And it's going to be a lot harder for me to track it down on my end. So what we are definitely looking for is camo wraps, is spy shots. And I have not seen any yet. It is my understanding that they won't look at doing it until the 3 fresh ramp is well done, well underway at least, but probably done. And that changeover in the US is not expected until the end of Q4, beginning of Q1. We're close to the end of Q4. So the 3 refresh is coming very quick. So I would think Juniper at earliest Q2, Q3 is my guess, but maybe even later than that.
So my last question for this particular round, and we're going to create all kinds of conspiracy theories right now. This is what the show is all about, is creating conspiracy. I'm sorry, it's supposed to get rid of something.
Oh, right.
Anyway, surprises on the 31st. So I put up one of my surprises on my show yesterday, possibility, and it wouldn't be a surprise except that we've all forgotten about it. Will they have a quad for sale?
So I will tell you, my biggest surprise would be if November has 31 days.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Did I say 31?
But on the 30th, will there be a quad? If there is, I'm not excited about it. It would just be rebranded. It wouldn't be something that Tesla themselves is making. Okay. It would probably just be something where they contract it out for the handful of people that actually want it. And then they would sell it at an astronomical markup. I don't mean 20%. I mean 100, 200%. Just like the Tesla Tequila. That's pure profit. The tequila itself was so irrelevant that in the second round, they didn't even put any alcohol in it. Just put whatever you like. You're going to buy better liquor and it's easier to ship. So what surprises are we expecting? So first of all, I'm expecting to see a variety of breathtaking videos. The shooting, the water tests, the hill climbing abilities, things like that.
Yeah, towing, yeah.
Towing, yeah, very strong possibility. But here's one, and this is coming out in a video of mine yesterday, probably. Here's something exciting about what we're going to discover. The price is going to be less than you think. And here's how I know. The price is going to be so low that the motivation to flip it will be so high that they have to threaten you with legal action to make you not do it.
Right.
Because you've seen the contract. It now says if you resell it, if you resell it, you are in deep trouble. And there will still be some private sales. Sandy Monroe will still get his because he's never going to register it on Tesla as having been transferred. He's just going to tear it apart.
Right.
That one won't show up. And if Tesla sued Sandy Monroe, oh my God, that's not going to happen. But it wouldn't have to. They can do it that. And there's other ways to get around it, but they're very complicated and a hassle and have too many moving parts. Some people will get them secondhand, but the price is going to be sufficiently low that they have to threaten you to not let you flip it. Otherwise,
I think the average, that people are thinking now would be the 79, thousand on the original, until they run out of people that want the 79,000, or until they run out of, they get the production up to where they can now offer a 69,000 or whatever.
That's my belief. And the 39, that was a single motor. They're not going to be offering a single motor. You remember how long it took to get a single motor Model Y? It just came this year. But and inflation alone made 39 untenable based on the intervening years.
And they won't need it. They wouldn't need it.
It won't need it.
A $49,000 version, if they ever go that low, 2 years from now, would sell like hotcakes. It would be unlimited numbers.
Yeah. And demand is, I've seen people saying, oh, I said, even at 10% take rate, that's 200,000. That's going to be 2 years of production at least. And people said, oh, I'd be surprised if it's that high. Okay, well, then don't buy the stock, because if your investment thesis is that fewer than 10% of reservations are going to convert, my friend, I have bad news for you.
And a bridge that you won't sell them unless they are willing to not flip it.
These people could not afford bridges. Yeah, there was a guy saying, the Tesla shorts historian posted one where a guy was saying, I can't wait to pop a bottle of champagne when Elon goes to jail in the next 6 months. And that was 2 years ago. And I said, the bad news is he can't afford champagne. It costs money. Right. So, even the $5 check.
So, okay. What about, will Optimus have a physical walking around moment doing something clever?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I think they've got enough moving pieces they need to deal with, and that the headspace is wholly occupied by Cybertruck.
I got it. Okay. Well, I'll be sad.
It's
I won't be there. I won't be there, but you will be. So I'll be sad for you. But you don't sound sad.
I don't think I'd be sad if I was able to attend this event.
Ever. All right. Hey, listen, Brian, as always, it is amazing to have you on board. I understand that you have begun the decoration of your tree. I can see one Christmas decoration on your amazing yellow lemon tree. You're so much younger than me that you didn't even know the lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet.
Oh, you're going to get demonetized. That's so accurate, I'm sure. I'm sure the copyright notification system would be like, I know that song.
Didn't I stop in time? I think you're supposed to stop. Hey, Brian, again, appreciate you coming on. And to all of you out there, it has been great talking to you. Is somebody going to join Patreon? All right, I'm going to make a deal. This is going to be, I've done this once before. It worked a little bit. Actually got a lot of people joining Patreon the last 2 weeks. But the last 2 days, not a single soul. So let's get you up on Patreon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one free audiobook. You can have 2 free if you want, or you can have 1 free audiobook and the Cybertruck bottle opener. How's that? 1 and 1. Okay. If you join at the $10 level, not at the $5 level. If you join at the $5 level, you just get the 1 book. Now, if you're completely new to the channel, this is a bottle opener. It is a refrigerator magnet. It is 3 millimeter thick, stainless steel, really, really tough. Comes in a very cool magnetic box that makes it a great gift item. It's got all kinds of people now buying them as gifts as a result of the fact that I have so many people that want to buy them as gifts, and they're putting in these larger orders. I do have it all down. I think I put it all down below. I'll have to double check and make sure that it's up to date. They're normally $25 a piece. You get 2 for $45. You get 3 for $60. Okay. You get 100 for $210, and you get 200 for $400. Gets you all the way down to $20 a piece. If you are out of the country, I need you to add another $20 to that for freight, whichever one of those ones you pick. And then if you are, and then please let me know camo or regular. And of course you can mix and match if you buy quantities, however you want to set that up. So is there anything else I have left for you tonight? I think I've said it all. I have enjoyed speaking with you yet again.
Click the link below to get your paperback, Kindle, or audiobook now.